Hi, everybody. I'm Steve Pond, Executive Editor of Awards at TheWrap, and we're happy to have you here for our award screening with the filmmakers of A Long Break, which is Georgia's entry in the Oscars Best International Feature Film category. We're going to show you the trailer to the film, and then we'll go right into a conversation with our panelists. To the audience, please participate in the live chat, share your thoughts about the film, and let us know where you're tuning in from. Now, before we introduce our guests, let's take a look at the trailer to A Long Break.
ბიჭებმა გადავწყვიტეთ შეკრება.
ვინ ბიჭებმა?
კლასელებმა ბიჭებმა.
ვა, მაგარი. მერე?
ეგრე რა, კაც არ დაემსგავს ძლივი.
რა ვიცი.
სალამი ჩემო ტაჯო ბოშობა.
ერთი თავა ყველა რომ მაგას შაგრავდა, აი ყველა მაგას შაგრავდა რასაც იტყვია.
აი შეგრავდით?
შაგრავდა რა და საჩაგრებს შაგრავნა ელექტრულ ცხოვრება ეგა. რა შაგრავ? დაგჭაგრავ.
ეხა გაეწრიე
რა უნდათ?
რა უნდა?
ამათ შენ
რაზე ნერვიულ ყოფილი ხარ?
ბიჭი სკოლა არ გესწრება ხოლმე.
რაღაცა გამახსენე.
გამოუშვი.
ბიჭო ეს 13 სერვერი ხედავ რა. შტაბში ამით მე გუგა.
რა გინდა? ბიჭო რა? ბიჭო და შაგინდა შელი გასწრო.
Welcome back. It's my pleasure to introduce writer-director Davit Pirtskhalava, actor Giorgi Sharvashidze, and producer Tiko Nadirashvili. Producer Nadirashvili, and I apologize for slaughtering a couple of those names, but welcome to all of you, and thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
For the people who've only seen the trailer, we should give a little more information. I guess, I mean, this is about a group of classmates who get back together in their old school after 13 years, and it turns out that there's an ulterior motive for them getting back together. And Davit, for you, I mean, this is your first feature after making some shorts, right?
Yes, I already have two short films, which was premiered on Locarno at 2015 and 18. One of them wins Golden Leopard, and this is my first feature film, yes.
Right. So what was it that led you to want to make a film and write a film about this particular subject?
My childhood, my school, my classmates, and this story at first was a play, which was played in the theaters. I was studying in dramaturgy in theater, and then I was thinking that from this story will be nice. Maybe I can make nice film. And then I made the script, and after that we won the financial support from Georgia National Film Center, and we made it in 2020. Yeah, it was. There's details which is true in my past, in my at this time in the school time, I would say, and the motivation was that we always looking forward but sometimes we must go in back to uh, uh, შესაბამისად გამოვასწოროთ როგორ არის.
To correct the mistakes.
To correct the mistakes, yes, right. In the relations, and in the, with the classmates, at this time with the classmates, and this film is about forgiveness and repentance. That I think it's the most important things in the life for me and for my country also, and I think for all the people.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
Right.
short description.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, there's an aspect here where they're going back to a school where there was a lot of bullying, clearly, that went on. I mean, was that something that you experienced in your school?
Yeah, I was bullied, and I was buller. How to say? But it's not about about bullying and this stuff. It's about how to live with this heavy past.
Mhm.
How to live with this. You was bully or you was buller. It's I think there's a uh, when I will in problem, I will in Georgian if I can, and Tiko will translate.
Sure.
with the small. ორივე მსხვერპლი არის და ასე რომ ორივე სტარება არის ძალიან დიდი ტვირთი.
He says that both sides are victims. Burden is difficult for both of them, whether you're a bully or a bully.
Mhm.
და ამ
Right.
ყველაფერს არ უნდა გავექცეთ ჩემი აზრით და პირიქით უნდა მივიღოთ, მოვინანიოთ ასე ვთქვათ და რომელიც ძალიან დიდ თავისუფლებას იძლევა წინ გასახედად.
Yes. So,
Yeah.
so the solution is not to escape it, but rather to face it, embrace it, and move forward this way. And it gives you a lot of freedom. This is what he said.
Right. Okay. Well, Tika, what did you see in this film or in Davit as a director that made you want to be a part of this?
Well, first of all, our production company, Millimeter Film, has produced both of Tata's shorts, and we're really proud of these films. Both of them premiered in Locarno, and his first short, Mama, has won Golden Leopard for Best International Film. It has always been a pleasure and an adventure, a journey to work with him. So when he brought his project to the studio, we couldn't be happier with it, and we decided to be part of the journey. And I think it is a very important story to tell. It is a universal story about universal topics. And I think this is the reason why different audiences in these different countries, like we had the film in Canada, in Toronto, it premiered at TIFF. And then Davit won the Best Director at Bosphorus International Festival, which is Turkey. And now the film was screened in the US, in Los Angeles. So different type of audiences find it very engaging and emotional even. So I think it is a really universal story, and we need to tell stories like this so that many people and audiences worldwide can relate to them.
Mm-hmm. Right. Giorgi, what made you want to be involved with this?
Yeah, so it was very special experience for me, and it was not easy. When I get an offer from Data, it wasn't easy to accept the role. It was because it was my life, and there was some exact the same story like in my life. And what gave me a strength that I realized that it would be like a confession and a regret what I did, in the school, and I think this movie gives you opportunity to look at your old steps and decisions. There is always space to regret and ask your classmates or your old friends for a pardon. Maybe we can see these people who was our victim and ask them for forgiveness, but very carefully, of course. And if we meet them somewhere, treat them with care and love. So that our mission was that we want to. I mean, my as an actor mission was to remind people what their old steps, and if they have space to make forward one step for forgiveness and so on, that would be great, and that would be our mission. And we will be really happy if someone would take this kind of step.
Yeah. Davit, the revelations in this film come very slowly. There's a lot of stuff that we don't know at the beginning that we just gradually begin to learn about, about the past and about these characters. When you were writing it, was it tricky to, to figure out what information to give at what point?
Actually, my my job is screenwriting. I'm first of all, screenwriter and then director. I was studying screenwriting, not directing. So it was for me like the question how to open slowly the information for the people who watch this film, and it was for me. The question was how to leave people in the cinema till the end, and some kind of tricks of dramaturgy. It's suspense and that stuff. So ერთი შეხედვით in Georgian, please. ერთი შეხედვით ყველაფერი რაღაცა ნორმალ, ესეთ წყნარ ვითარებაში იწყება თითქოს ამათი შეხვედრა, მაგრამ ნელ-ნელა მერე აიცის პერსონაჟი ზაბავს სიტუაციას და იქნება ორი პოლუსი ამ ორ ადამიანს შორის, რომლებსაც ერთის მხრივ აქვს რომ შური იძიოს და მეორეს მხრივ აქვს რომ კლასი მას გასამართლებას უწევს.
So actually it was a purpose of my writing in this case, when it all starts with a seemingly harmless gathering, the boys drinking the booze. At one glance, nothing's gonna happen, but slowly we feel the suspense and this tension between especially these two characters. The character of Tsitsi, who starts to, bring Guga to this trial involving the classmates, and gradually we are seeing the creation of these two poles, conflicting sides, and it was on purpose. He wanted the story and the suspense to unfold itself throughout this film.
Mm-hmm. Right. So we're finding the location. I mean, Tiko as producer, it's such a remarkable location, because it looks like it is an old school where there are parts of it that look sort of homey, but there are parts of it that look very forbidding and dark. And where did you find the school?
It is. Well, actually, the shooting took place during COVID times, and it was being shot during 25 days, but mostly at night. And it is very interesting that it was shot in 4 different schools, and one of them actually is Giorgi's, the actor's school. He's the lead cast, and it is his school. And I know that it has been very emotional for him. Also, the other crew members, some of them also are coming from those schools. So it was for school, and the shooting took place at night mostly, as I said. So it was all closed, very intimate, closed spaces where all these people were working at night, and it was a really, really interesting project in that terms. And it is very typical Georgian schools that all of us used to go to. The canteen is really typical, and the classrooms. I think it's actually one of them is like Giorgi's classroom. Is it correct, Gio?
The second one was mine.
It's
You're muted.
it was coincidence, and so many. I'm muted. Am I? No, data is
you're not
muted,
muted.
yeah?
You're not muted, but we didn't hear the first part of your answer.
Yeah.
That,
I mean, this movie is connected. Yeah, Data was saying.
Yes, I was saying that the first school was Giorgi's school,
the second
and
school
second was mine.
His school. Yeah, it was so strange because in Georgia we have so many schools. I mean, you can imagine in Georgia, and so they took my school and my class where I was studying 11 years, and it was main location. I think we are. I mean, and then I realized that. It was something very special, and then I realized that I had to be in this movie, and we are here in this world for something. We have our mission, and that was very clear for me because it was very, I mean, coincidence, of course, but it was a big sign for me. Because can you imagine that I was they were calling me that come in this school, and I didn't know they changed the school name, so I knew the district. So when I was on my way, I called him and I asked them, "Are you kidding?" Because it's my school and I was studying there. And when I came there, it was even my class. When I was studying in the main location, so I realized that it was something very special starting in my life. And this is really big experience for us because it's our also we are happy to show this movie and this story to the people. I mean, mostly the Georgians, of course, but all around the world. But it is also the big pain that we have from our childhood and from our past. And I don't know. Let's see. I mean, we have the show time like in Georgia. No, December. So we are waiting for Georgian people because it's especially about them. But I think it's for all the people that we have in the world.
I know there's a line in the movie where one character says to another, "Do you ever dream about school?" And I wonder when you're shooting in your own old school, does that make you dream about school?
Me or Data?
Both of you.
Yeah, let's start Data and.
Actually, it's my dream, which says one of characters. And yes, when I was in my school, it was like this corner, and there's in my imagination the past situations, this class and this. I mean, it was very emotionally, and it was very tough, but also with some kind of joy.
Mm-hmm. Right. Giorgi, did you dream about your old school when you're shooting there?
As I've mentioned earlier, when Data asked me for the movie, when he offered me a role, I mean, it wasn't easy to tell this story, and it wasn't easy for me, especially. And I was telling him that it would be very difficult for me because of my past, and I was afraid that my classmates would see this movie and maybe someone would be hurt or something like this. And mostly that I have the when I remember my school, I remember also my mistakes, and it is difficult for me to yeah that, that's I think it is difficult to um, remind these things, and I don't know how to say in English, but to yeah.
Yeah. So what was the casting process like? I mean, Davit and Tiko, did you see lots of different actors for this? And what were you looking for?
That Tiko. Yeah, it was also a very long and I should say that when Data has a script, he has a clear understanding of the mostly who will the actors be, and it's also a common practice in Georgia. So the directors are always choosing their cast. Sometimes even during writing, they know that this role is written for this particular person. But maybe we should mention that Data wrote this, as he said, it was a play in the first place. A theater play and in Tbilisi. So some of the actors who we have in the film are also starring, playing in that play in the theater, but not most of them.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to add something about the final casting itself?
The main characters, these three boys, Gugatsitsi and Pochua, who is on the wells. So I was writing, and I knew that these guys are playing in my film. After that, there's an actors and non-actors, my friends, also my parents, my father, my mother, my uncle, my grandmother, and the one just the one woman who's playing in film is my sister. So it's like a like a cast is like actors, my friends, also non-actors, also my friends, and the family members. So I was exactly knew that I want to make this role for this person.
Right.
So it was easy for me. It was not like doubting or something. It was easy.
Right. Typically for a theater production, there would be a lot of rehearsal before the show began. Was there a lot of rehearsal before you started shooting on this?
Tiko mitagine.
Sorry for the Georgian language. რეპეტიციები ამდენად დიდხანს გაიწელა, იმიტომ რომ სპექტაკლებისთვის მნიშვნელოვანია დიდხანს რეპეტიციო და ამ შემთხვევაში როგორ იყო?
We was practicing about 3 months, and we choose the main stage, main scene in the cafe of the school where the boys are drinking. So and after that, all other scenes is like we go there in before shooting for one day, and then we are shooting there. So practicing was in the main scene, only for this and nothing
Mhm.
more. And
Right.
also, reading the script all time and talking about that, talking about this, and changing minds, and yeah.
Right. Um, Giorgi, what was the process like for you? You know, did did you find yourself working with the other actors a lot, or just studying on your own, or what were the keys for
Uh,
you?
Yeah, shooting process was very. I mean, it was very weird for us because can you imagine like 25 nights, and when you have just regular life, you are sleeping like at 12, and you are staying up like at 9 in the morning, and then one day your life changes because you have the shooting like at 10. It started from like 9 or 10, and it ended in morning, so it wasn't easy, and but it helped, especially for me it was very helpful because I was thinking that it was like a dream. It was like something, I mean, unrealistic, because was some kind of I didn't know that I mean dreaming, or it was a real life, because 25 night it wasn't easy for my side, I mean for my mind and for my body, but data really helped us to make it happen, and all of the actors we were like family, and we were working like we were helping each other. There was no only one word like the I mean, mm, without contexts, and it was something that I would dream. The shooting has to be like this, and it was because, and of course it was also COVID, and it was also my baby was born, so many things happened in this time. But when I recall this, yeah,
Right. Um, so you have a new baby at home and you're gone all night every night?
exactly. The first month I didn't saw her like 25 days. I was sleeping
Wow.
all the time. I mean, all the day, and at night I was, yeah, at home. And yes,
Right. Yeah. So, David, for you, did you always the film has such a distinctive look and feel to it? I mean, did you always know that you wanted to, use long stretches without music and to set the camera up at a distance and just watch the action in front of it?
Sorry, Tiko will translate for them.
გამოსახულება არის ძალიან ესეთი განსხვავებული და უნიკალური. გრძელი სეკვენსები არის, ნაკლები მუსიკა და ეს ქონდა თუ არა თავიდანვე გადაწყვეტილი თხრობის სტილი და ვიზუალური სახე.
I will speak in Georgian. თრობის სტილი ცოტა დასაწყისში ჩანაფიქრი მქონდა ცოტა უფრო სწრაფი.
In the beginning, I was thinking of a much faster tempo for the film.
მაგრამ გადაღების პროცესში მივხვდი, რომ არსად არ მეჩქარებოდა და რასაც უყურებდი, ყველაფერი ძალიან საინტერესო იყო ჩემთვის.
But during the shooting, I analyzed that I didn't have to rush at all because everything I was seeing was interesting and worth watching.
იმიტომ რომ ფიქრობ, რომ ადამიანი, რომელსაც ეს პრობლემა ეხება და აწუხებს, ის ყოველგვარი აჩქარებების გარეშე ბოლომდე უყურებს ამ ფილმს.
Because I think that when a person is concerned with this type of problems, he or she will be catched until the very end and will have a patience to watch until the end with this type of rhythm.
ვისაც ასე ვთქვათ, ტკივილი აქვს გამოვლილი, მე მგონია, რომ აი იმ პაუზებშიც კი, როცა არაფერი თითქოს არ ხდება, იმ მომენტებში ძალიან ბევრი რაღაცები მოხდება მის შინაგანად, როგორც ხდება ჩვენში.
Because I honestly believe that the people who have gone through pain like this, even those pauses and the moments when seemingly nothing is happening, will be important for them, so they can, like go through themselves and think about it and analyze it.
იმიტომ რომ ჩვენი ჩანაფიქრიც ეგ იყო. დამთავრდეს ფილმი და მაყურებელი წავიდეს საკუთარ ბავშვობაში, საკუთარ სკოლაში.
Yeah, because from the very beginning, it was my purpose, our purpose with this film, that once the film is finished, the audience, people who have seen the film, they have to go to their childhood with this film and to their own school.
Mm-hmm. Right. I wonder, for each of you, were there certain things that were the biggest challenge in making this film? And Tiko, I guess we can start with you. I mean, as a producer, what were the biggest challenges you faced?
Yes. First of all, I'm one of the 3 producers. Many people worked on this film and invested themselves in very difficult ways. First challenge was, of course, the COVID times, because it was almost impossible to get the permissions. So Tedo, another producer of the film, had to go through a lot of bureaucratic hell to make this film happen. And first of all, these permissions, then shooting at night was really tough. Then actually, once the film was finished and we were dealing with different types of cuts, some were too long, some were like, we were also kind of experimenting a lot, because the selected for San Sebastian Film Festival, we were meeting salespeople, everybody, like festival representatives, and talking about the film and so on. It had gone through a lot of stages. So I think the length and what parts of film data would live in the film or leave it out, that was also a long process. And we are also getting some questions about, for example, amount of men in the film or so on. Like, should we have had so many actors who are male, and whether it is a challenge for the project? I was thinking about it a lot and also discussed it with many industry people. And I think it is not like a men film, but rather it is a very universal story. And you don't really think about quotas when you are watching this film. So I didn't really consider it as a challenge, although some people saw it as such. And also I think it was not a challenge for this particular project because of Tata's talent, but to keep the audience with this type of tension and suspense in a seemingly really harmless environment, as this cool and boys drinking and so on, he managed to because it's a challenge, it is based on a play and there is a lot of dialogues, but still he managed to keep this tension and suspense until the very end. And actually this was one of the main reasons why Dorota Lech, who is the selector for the TIFF, told me. So when we see this in the film, we see a talent, and this is why in the first place we took the film. So keeping this tension throughout almost like it's 110-minute film, but I think he made it beautifully. So,
right, Giorgi, for you, what were the biggest challenges of playing this part?
Yes, the biggest challenge for me was, we spoke a lot, me and Data, on the rehearsals, but when we had shooting with Shako, the Shako is playing Tsitsi. So I wanted to kill him. I wanted to choke him, and it was so hard to maintain all the emotions that I have, and tension, because the script is written very good, and I had the feeling that I wanted to get up and just make something very bad for him. So when I had this kind of, I mean, emotion, and that I was saying, no, just wait. We need this tension, and till the end, it was so right, and it was so good that he did not gave me the chance to explode my emotion and to release my emotions. And because when we had like last shooting, I was sitting on the table, and it was, I mean, camera was on, and I was crying, and I was thinking that I would take this scene, and that I would use this scene in the movie. But when I finished the crying, he said, "Okay, let's start now the shooting, because we don't need the emotions and we don't need this part. So let's start now." And we're very calmly and very. I mean, he knows how to. I mean, it was the biggest example for me how to act and how to make how to give audience this free space for their emotions and not for actors' emotions, like when you are like როცა არ უტოვებ სხვას მაყურებელს მას რა ქვია სივრცეს. Space. Yeah. And it was the biggest challenge for me. Yes.
Great. Okay. Davit, what about for you? What were the biggest challenges for you?
ამ ფილმს ყავს სამი გამოკვეთილი მთავარი გმირი.
Film has three distinctively leading characters.
პირველი ციცის ხაზით იწყება, ასე ვთქვათ, ფილმი.
First of all, Titi, the film starts with his storyline.
მე გრძელდება და მიუყვებით, ასე ვთქვათ, გუგას პერსონაჟს.
And we follow Guga's character after that.
და სადღაც ფილმის შუაში შემოდის მესამე მთავარი გმირი პოჩხუას სახით.
And in the middle of the film, we are introduced to Pochhua's character.
მაგრამ სინამდვილეში ეს სამივე მთავარი გმირი, ასე ვთქვათ, აერთიანებს ერთ გამჭოლ ხაზს.
Gamjol?
ერთ ხაზს, მთავარ ხაზს.
But in the end, these three characters create a one line, which is the main
ეს
line.
არ არის კლასიკური დრამატურგიული ნიმუში და ჩემთვის ეს საკმაოდ დიდი გამოწვევა იყო, მქონდა კითხვები, გამოვა თუ არა, მაგრამ საბოლოო ჯამში ვთვლი, რომ გამოვიდა, იმიტომ რომ პირველი არის, ასე ვთქვათ, ციცის პერსონაჟი, რომელსაც ეხლა აქვს პრობლემა.
Okay, I will start. And this is not a typical classical dramaturgy pattern. So I was thinking and working on it for a long time and thinking, will it work out or will it not? I think we managed to do it. And because for these three characters, one is undergoing through something now, and one has done it before these things would start to happen. And for the third one,
არის ორივესგან დაზარალებული, რომელსაც პირდაპირ ადამიანს რო შეხედავ, ეთყობა ის მძიმე წარსული, რომელიც გამოიარა.
And in the case of the third character, Pochhua, who we meet from the middle part of the film, he has been harmed by the two other characters, and he's still undergoing through a lot at the moment.
ეს იყო დრამატურგიის გამოწვევა ჩემთვის. რაც შეეხება
This was a challenge
რეჟისურას,
for me, dramaturgy-wise. In terms of
რაც შეეხება
directing,
რაც შეეხება რეჟისურას, გამოწვევა იყო ის, რომ ფილმის უმეტესი ნაწილი ხდება ღამე და სულ მეშინოდა, რომ გახდებოდა მოსაბეზრებელი.
because of the most part of shooting taking place at night, I was kind of frightened that it could become annoying.
ანუ გამოსახულებისთვის უნდა მიგვეგნო ისეთისთვის, რომელიც იქნებოდა ამავე დროს საინტერესო და შექმნიდა ისეთ ჩახუთულ ჰერმეტულ სივრცეს, რომელიც მართლა ძალიან მწარე ადგილად აღიქმებოდა იქ მყოფი ადამიანებისთვის.
We had to find a right image, picture for storytelling, for it to not be annoying, and at the same time to convey this feeling, claustrophobic feeling of hermetic space, which awakens the bitterness from the past for the people in this space.
მაგალითად, ხატრობაში რეფერენსად ჰქონდა კარავაჯოს ნახატები.
The reference from the fine arts for us was Caravaggio paintings.
და დრამატურგიულათაც შევთანხმდით იმაზე, რომ აი ამ ასე ვთქვათ, ჯოჯოხეთური ღამის შემდეგ რომ ნათდება და ამოდის მზე და ეს ყველაფერი წარსულში როგორც სიზმარი ისე რჩება, ეს იყო კარგი ვიზუალური და ასევე მხატვრული გადაწყვეტა.
And also in terms of aesthetic, like visual decisions in terms of visual storytelling, this hellish night and everything bitter happening in the night time, which feels almost like a dream, like a nightmarish dream. And at the end, we see the sun rising and all this bitterness is left behind. We think that in terms of visual part, it was also interesting to bring this kind of change in the end.
ზუსტად ასე ხდება ხოლმე ის ჯერ კიდევ მოუშუშებელი წარსულის კოშმარი, როცა გაანალიზდება, ხდება როგორც სიზმარი, რომელიც აბსოლუტურად ქრება.
And I think that this is exactly how it's happening in the real life. When you have this nightmarish part of your life, you have to really face it. And once you deal with it and leave it behind, this is when the revelation comes, you know, and it's all behind, just like a bad dream.
Right. I mean, I do feel like we're living in a time right now where we see this kind of anger, desire for revenge, settling grudges happening, you know, all around us. I mean, we see bullying on a global scale. I mean, does this feel like a timely movie to you because of that?
ჩემი აზრით ჩაგვრა და დაჩაგრულები და მჩაგვრელები იყვნენ და სამწუხაროდ იქნებიან ყოველ შემთხვევაში ჯერჯერობით.
I think these two sides of people who are bullied and the ones who bully have always existed, and unfortunately I feel like it will still exist.
იცვლება ფორმები და არ იცვლება თვითონ შინაარსი და მნიშვნელობა.
It just takes different forms, but the meaning and the main essence is the same, stays the same.
ჩვენს დროს ყოფილა, თქვენს დროსაც ყოფილა.
It has been in our time, in your time.
ჩვენს შემდეგ დროსაც თაობაშიც იქნება.
And probably for the next generations it will be there as well.
უბრალოდ ჩვენ გამოცდილებას ვღებულობთ იმითი, რომ მაგალითად მე მამაჩემის დროს რო ვუყურებ, სხვა გარემო იყო და ასე ვთქვათ, ვთარგმნი ჩემ თანამედროვე ენაზე.
Because it's always different for different generations. As I said, the essence is the same. But when I look at my father's generation, for example, there are the same stories, but I just translate it to the modern language. It's just a kind of a language that changes, the shape that it takes.
ასე რომ ისეთი მაყურებელი, რომელიც ასეთი კუთხით მიუდგება ამ ფილმს, რომელიც ზუსტად მიხვდება შინაარსს და ფორმას, თარგმნის საკუთარ ცხოვრებაზე, გონია რომ მისთვის იქნება დროული კი არა, ასე ვთქვათ, დროის გარეთ ყოფი არსებული თემა.
So I think the people who have been through things like this, after watching the film, they will translate this film into their language, into their own environment and experience. And I would even say that this is not just timely film, but it is beyond the time, because it's there for everyone, for every generation.
Right. Well, I think that's a perfect note to wrap up on. So
Right.
thank you all. For the audience out there, thank you for joining us. You can also take advantage of our free trial to Wrap Pro and be the first to know about upcoming screenings. You can catch up on past screenings you might have missed by going to TheWrap.com and clicking on the screenings tab. So thank you all. Thank you for a beautiful film and for coming here to talk about it.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Thanks.
Bye.